And now, let's take a look at what's new at BoardGameBliss.com with Nick Meanahan.
Hey now, my name is Nick, this is Board Game Brawl, and it's time for another episode of What's New at Board Game Bliss, my sponsor, the greatest sponsor in the world. I just talk about a few of the new games that they've had come in over the past couple of weeks or a month, and hopefully if they interest you, you can go ahead and check them out at BoardGameBliss.com. Now, a few caveats here as usual. I have not played some of the games on this list, and if I haven't played it, I can't give you my ringing endorsement. These are not to be considered reviews. I'm just telling you that these games exist. They are for sale at Board Game Bliss, and if you like what you hear from the description, go and check them out. But you should go to Board Game Bliss anyways, because they have a huge selection of like a very varied selection of games from like all over the world, from like, you know, old hits and brand new stuff and really hard to find stuff. Definitely check them out. So without further ado, let's get right to it. Kryptos from Truffle Joker line is a game that I came very, very close to picking up myself. I didn't this time, although I might in the future. I probably will in the future because it intrigues me quite a bit. It's a very small card game, but it's a competitive game that's also deduction, and you hold your cards in kind of the same way as Hanabi, but not quite. You are trying to deduce information about other players' hands, and they have some information, but not all information. I don't know like a comprehensive overview of the rules, but what I've heard really, really intrigues me, and I think it looks neat, so check it out. Three Kingdoms Redux from Starting Player is another game that has gotten a lot of people interested, including myself, and a lot of that is because a lot of viewers of the channel have been requesting that I review it for quite a while, but it's been kind of hard to get, and that's another reason why you should check out Board Game Bliss, because they actually do have it in stock. It's a three-player only game about these warring feudal Chinese kingdoms, and I don't know too much else than that other than that the components are really cool, and it just looks like this sprawling kind of epic, very unique game. A lot of people were complaining that we didn't put it in the Dice Tower Awards for innovation and for a lot of other categories as well. I'm on the Dice Tower Awards committee, but nevertheless, I'm willing to definitely give it a shot and hopefully bring more attention to it. Whether I like it or not remains to be seen, but if you're interested in it as well, check out Board Game Bliss. Alright, we'll do a double header here. War Stories Liberty Road and War Stories Red Storm, which are two different versions of the same system. I think each one gives you different factions to control and things like that. This is a war game. I dimly remember this being on Kickstarter. Now, war games are not my thing, and this looks maybe a little more accessible than some war games, but still definitely a war game, a hex encounter system. Like I said, just not my thing. I have friends who come to my board game group regularly who love war games, so this would definitely be up their alley. And I know that there are a lot of people who watch this channel who either dabble in war games or who really enjoy them quite a bit. So this one looks brand spanking new. It looks pretty interesting. The graphic design and aesthetic really had me interested until I found it was a war game. But if it's the type of game that you're interested in, do check it out on Board Game Bliss. Dice Brewing is from Board and Dice, and this is a competitive dice game that is all about brewing beer. You roll your dice, you use them, they represent different types of ingredients that you would use typically to brew beer, and you can get extra special ingredients as well, and you're trying to get cards that represent these different recipes and therefore get you victory points. They call them like mastery points as well. Does it seem like I know a lot about this game? I do, because I actually do have a copy of the game. I have played it. I'll be reviewing it soon. And if you were good enough to watch the Board Game Bliss What's New, then I'll go ahead and give you secret insider information. I don't like it very much. So I hate to say that, but I will say that I know people who will love it because it is a very tight resource management game. Like, really tight, and I know a lot of people who are into that sort of thing, like there's no margin for error, and it does have a really cool theme and aesthetic to it, so you should at least take a look at it. Finally, we have the Gossip expansion for the game CV. Now, you might remember I've mentioned CV in a previous What's New update for Board Game Bliss, and that I actually picked up a copy for myself, and while I have not officially reviewed it yet, because it's just not high on my list of priorities, I have like an immense backlog of games to review. I did enjoy the game. It had some clunkiness to it, but overall I do enjoy it. And I've actually been looking forward to the Gossip expansion coming back in stock at Board Game Bliss so I can get my own copy, which I am, because I I'm wondering what it adds to the game. I know it's going to add more of what's already in the game, like more of the different the lifestyle cards, like the main cards in the game. I don't know, they have a name. And things like that. But I'm hoping that it evens out some of the luck aspects of the game, and it does say that on the box for the expansion, that it's going to give you more ways to mitigate the bad luck rolls, and also new ways to achieve goals. They have these things called rumor cards. It all seems very interesting, and I think it's a type of game that could definitely be well served with an expansion. So if you're someone who actually already has CB like I do and has been looking for that expansion, or if you've also heard that the expansion makes it a bit better and you've been waiting to pick up the original, now's a perfect time. Alright folks, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. As usual, go to BoardGameBliss.com, look at their selection. It's pretty incredible. If you're like me, I mean, every time I go there, I'm like, I have never heard of that game before. I want to know more. And to me, that's just a sign of a great and interesting website and a great store at that. Check them out. Thank you so very much for watching and for supporting our wonderful sponsor. Take care.